Here we're going to show you how to make a bar graph or a column graph using Excel. Remember that one of the reasons why you might be interested in making a bar graph is if you run an experiment where the independent variable is qualitative instead of quantitative. So say for example that you run an experiment where you're testing the effect of smiling on the production of endorphins in both men and women. In this case, the independent variable is just whether or not the person smiles at least once during the day. So because that's a value that's not given in terms of numbers, it's not considered to be quantitative. Instead, it's considered to be qualitative. In this case, the dependent variable would basically be how much endorphins the person ends up producing. And in this case, it's given in terms of picomoles per liter of blood serum. So to make a bar graph that looks something like this, the first thing to do is to type in your data. The values that you'd like to plot along the x-axis or the horizontal axis get typed in to the far left-hand column. The values that you'd like to be plotted along the y-axis or the vertical axis get inputted here, which is the column to the right. Once you have all of your values typed in, highlight them all, go up to Insert, choose Column, and make sure you choose Column and not Bar. So I know it's tempting to select the bar option since you're making a bar graph, but like you're being shown here, if you select the bar option, it'll give you horizontal bars, which is a little bit unconventional, at least for our purposes. So don't select the bar option, instead select the column option. Usually simpler is better, at least easier to read. So select the two-dimensional option, which is the option in the upper left-hand corner. When you do that, you'll get a preview of what your bar graph will look like. Hopefully as you typed in your data, you had an image in your mind as far as what your bar graph will end up looking like. And so if the preview that Excel gives you does not look like the image in your head, chances are it's because this switch row column button has been clicked. So if you click on it, check out what happens. It kind of changes the look of your graph so that it's now something that maybe you weren't expecting it to look like. So again, if that's what you end up seeing for your preview, just click on this button, switch row column, and chances are that'll fix it so that it looks like what you're expecting. The next step is to go to Chart Layouts, and I would suggest selecting the one that's called Layout number 9. So scroll down to Layout number 9 and select it. The reason why Layout number 9 is nice is because it gives you placeholders where you can just type in the title of your graph, the label for your y-axis, and the label for your x-axis. And so now basically your chart is finished. The last things to do then would be to type in your title and your labels. To do that, it might be easier to enlarge the chart. In this case, the values for the x-axis have already been automatically put into place. So you can get rid of this thing that says axis title by clicking on it and then hitting backspace on your keyboard. You can input an appropriate y-axis title by clicking on it, highlighting it, and then typing it in. You can then type in an appropriate chart title. And in this case, it would be appropriate to just delete this thing that says Series 1 because it doesn't really tell us anything. So click on it and then hit backspace on your keyboard. And so that's how you produce a bar graph in Excel.